So, André,
That's right. Yeah.
welcome to TechBBQ 2025, the official podcast for this year.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We are still early on the first day, so not much is happening, but a lot of people are coming to the venue at the moment. So there's a lot of background noise slowly rising throughout the day, I imagine. So I invited you to join our podcast. I fell on you on the Umbrella app, and the company you have funded sound like an interesting approach to transportation. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about this. And before we go there, can you tell me just the short story of André?
Yeah, sure. I came originally from Portugal, from Lisbon. I had the opportunity when I was in university studying mechanical engineering to come to Denmark to study as Erasmus as an exchange student, and ended up in Fyn in the south of Denmark in Odense, studying at STU for 6 months, and loved the experience. So I told myself I want to come back to Denmark. So worked a bit in robotics, and then in I think 2017 I came for a master's in product development and innovation at STU, and here I stayed. And it was here that I started Trip.com. After working a bit in academia and working also a bit in the robotics field.
Awesome. So it's a little long journey.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff has been happening
Yeah.
for you since living, and maybe even since leaving Lisbon. Why did you decide to leave Lisbon?
well, it looked good on Google Maps. Especially with the SDU area, it's very green. And I knew I wanted to go to a Nordic country because I wanted to expose myself to as different as possible environment compared to what we have in Portugal. Normally, Portuguese people love to go to Poland because there's cheap beer, or Czech Republic. I was more interested in having as much of a cultural shock in a way as possible. And I saw that the Nordic countries could be the right place to be and experience a different way of living as well.
Awesome, definitely. So this basically leads you to going to school, whatever, and all this, and leads you into founding Trip.
Yeah.
What is the, before we get to where Trip is today and what it actually is today, what is the background for going into developing Trip?
Yeah. Well, the background story for Trip is that I was studying, and I was doing studies as well during the summer in China. And I had to come up with a business idea that would connect the Nordic countries with the Chinese market. So I was thinking about an automated travel platform that would hunt for good flight deals and create unique combinations for users and push those unique combinations in real time. The idea was all about, if I have a flight from China coming to, let's say, Germany, and it's very discounted flight, I want to build a whole trip in the computer around that flight so that you can get to know multiple places. And from there, the idea took off. So in China, the idea was very well received. I was participating in a startup competition there. It was so welcomed, the idea, that I told myself, let's start working on this when I'm here in Europe, back to Europe, and reached out to some smart colleagues, all software engineers, and we started working on this in 2019, so just before COVID.
So I imagine hitting COVID was an obstacle for you, or were more people taking transportation, or did you just lock in at this time to finish the development instead before releasing, or when did you go full release?
Yeah. So when we started, it was very much a passion project. So we all, as founders, liked very much traveling. So as most people like, and we saw it as something that we are going to do on the sideline. So we have our studies, that's the main focus. But on the sideline, we want to work on this and see how far we can get. And we didn't talk about equity. We didn't talk about anything. We just said, let's build this cool thing because we see potential on it. So we are also focused very much on building part, not on dividing a cake that didn't exist yet back in the day.
Awesome. It's a good approach, I believe. It's because it's more passion project and an equity project. and this is super awesome. So let's dig a bit into what Trip actually does and how the platform works and how it's a more sustainable way of traveling than regular travel planning.
So starting with how it works technically, so we follow about 80 million flights, trains, buses, and ferries. So we have a very big database that is tracking the prices of tickets throughout the whole year. And that's something that we are incredibly good at. And we have created one of the best companies at knowing what are the prices for anything you can imagine travel related. And then we use that very big database, which is in a graph format, and we use our own AI to stitch the different tickets together. So this has nothing to do with large language model, with ChatGPT. No, it's our own AI that is trained to stitch different tickets together in real time for the consumer with the goal of maximizing the probability of conversion. So for you as a traveler, we want to find what is the chain. It could be a very simple chain of hopping on a Ryanair flight and coming back on an EasyJet flight. So it could be a simple trip, or it could be a very complex trip, but finding the winning combo in a way that when we push to you, you are going to likely say, well, that makes sense to me. I want to buy this. Yeah. And that's, of course, a very difficult challenge to tackle, because you need to understand really what is going to excite a user. Mm-hmm. Because many people think it's just a price minimization challenge. You just find the cheapest tickets. That's not really the case, because from Denmark I can push you to Malmo, and it's very cheap to hop on a Flixbus. That doesn't mean that most people will want to do that trip. So it gets quite challenging, because you have hundreds of variables that you, if you want, you can look into.
Awesome. And I mean, there's a huge market space for conversion optimizing in traveling capacities in some way. So I mean, this is sounds like almost a ready to purchase company for something like Momondo or Expedia or something. You could make an exit at $1 billion in a few years maybe. But how does the platform differ from other platforms like Momondo or something like that that's also trying to find the best or cheapest solution for your travels?
Yep. So that's, of course, always a question that we get. And it's very important to understand that Momondo and all what is called in the industry meta search platforms. Meta search meaning that it's a search platform. You go there to search. Trip.com, the focus is not about search. The focus is in recommendation. So what we always say is, and we see happening in consumers, is that when we go to YouTube, for example, or TikTok, it's not much about search anymore, right? What was the last time, or when was the last time that you used the search bar on YouTube? Probably some days ago, because the algorithm knows you and knows what is likely to interest you, and is able to push those combinations or push those videos to you. So that's what we focus as Trip.com. It's a platform where you don't need to search. And this also translates then into our sales. So most of our sales is people actually finding something that comes pushed to them on the homepage. So they are not necessarily searching for trips. And that's our whole goal and differentiation compared to the old school platforms.
It makes sense. It makes sense. It kind of, and don't take it wrong, maybe it kind of reminds me of the original idea behind Uber Eats. Mm-hmm. That is, you open the app and you don't make decision of what to eat or when or how. You push one button and you get food.
Yeah, exactly.
And this way of booking travel, okay, I want to go somewhere. I have the destination. I don't know what is the best way to get there, and you not only find the different solutions, but try to find the final solution for the client and the most optimized solution.
Exactly.
That is most likely for the client to convert to a sale.
Yep. And we users are looking more and more for simplicity. Mm-hmm. Like, right. So taking like the search component out of or most of the search component out of the travel planning, it's for many users a relief, because they don't want to think where they want to go. They are super flexible, especially a new generation of travelers that is most of our clients. So it's between 18 to 25 years old. They are used to these native recommendations. So they don't want to think too much. They want an algorithm to do the hard work, to do the crunching of what are the possibilities and give those suggestions to them.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it completely makes sense because you also have the internet went through limitations to full possibilities. You could do everything. You had the big indicator websites where possibilities were endless, and then now we're trimming down again. First with search engines that were optimized, but I think we're going the next step in simplicity, where you'll see something like the ChatGPT. Everyone between your age group, 18 to 24, they're too lazy to Google.
Yep.
You go oh my God.
ChatGPT. Yeah.
Yes. And they just take the answer for granted.
Yeah, correct.
They don't Google, they don't research. Even you find comments on LinkedIn, Facebook, and something. Someone asks a specific question, highly specialized or something. People just go into the AI and then they copy paste and say, I found this on ChatGPT. This is the truth.
Absolutely.
So you have a mindset also that needs the simplicity and needs the answer delivered in front of them and don't want to do the research themselves.
Exactly. And something you are tapping into something very important into creating a successful startup, in my view, is that like when you look into the big startups that have succeeded out there, it was all about the timing. It was all about ongoing tendency of change, right? So you can think of Facebook or Uber or Airbnb as bringing digitalization. Like it was that age. Now we are in in an age where data is very abundant. So there is a lot of data. It's all about being smart with that data. And that's why I think trip.com is, it's a great timing to create something like this because it's the right time now. People have that mindset. We don't want to crunch numbers ourselves. We don't want to do the search ourselves. We want a computer that indeed has superior capabilities in terms of crunching numbers to do that for us.
Definitely. I think you're in the right space in the right time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But and maybe you agree, maybe you don't agree, but you do have major competition on the market as well.
And it's a very tough space. Yeah. Travel is brutal because it's dominated by 3 or 4 players. So when we go to the meta search platforms like Momondo, we are used to see a platter of different companies, but actually the controlling groups is just 3 or 4 major groups that control everything. And it's an industry that is very appealing for new founders like myself to come in, because who doesn't like to travel and who doesn't see the problems in the headaches that you go into when you are trying to build a trip? But then it's an industry that is extremely difficult to innovate. It's extremely difficult to get in. And it's, I think, one of the most challenging spaces in the consumer sphere to go into.
Yeah, absolutely. But as tech entrepreneurs, there is a mindset that was when 1 or 2 key players get too big, we want to disrupt them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this has always been the tech mindset as a tech entrepreneur. And I think you're in the correct space in the correct time. You're not just trying to make a new platform that offers the same, but rebrand it to fit a market.
Nope.
This is what most people in the travel space do. They do the same thing, but they're trying to rebrand to hit a specific market, to a specific target group, to grab some customers away from the major platforms. You're really trying to disrupt the way we search for travels.
Absolutely. Yep.
And this is interesting, I do believe. But you also have some major battles ahead of you. One thing is and it's so stupid. Try say hotel without saying Trivago. You cannot. Yeah. You cannot say hotel Trivago. You have to say it because this commercial is just engraved everywhere, and they have huge marketing budgets. So you need to get them away from the traditional meta search platforms, Trivago, Momondo, Expedia, whatever they're called, hotel.com, and onto trip.com.
Yeah. And it's so funny because I think this is our 3rd or 4th TechBBQ. Like I think every TechBBQ, there was a challenge in a way. So of course, the first edition where we went to in 2021 was mostly like the tech. If people could understand, there were still people back in 2020, 21, saying, or 22 even, like saying an AI cannot give recommendations to me. No one knows me better than myself. So people couldn't see this. Then the next barrier, and that was especially for us in 2020, in 23, 24, is the marketing, how to grow this thing. Because it's not only about having the tech, you can have a great product, but if you don't have good marketing like Trivago did, you are never going to succeed. For us, the recipe of success, and we tried a lot and we learned a lot along the way, was TikTok and Instagram. It was about like now we have a product that is great, that shows really shocking deals because the price is really low and the deals are great and the product is very easy to use. Let's bring a product first approach to TikTok and let's aim to go viral. And that's actually what we succeeded as a company, was in amassing millions and millions of views. I think only last year, it was more than 40 million views only on TikTok, just from showcasing a product and showcasing that, yes, there is a tendency and you have this of changing the way we are traveling and planning our trips, and this is the right product for you. So we have, during last month especially, started building quite a big network of people that, young people that are excited about the product and that want to be an ambassador to trip.com. They want to represent us in their countries. So that has been something very important for us. We don't have Jet 2 holiday catchy slogan or Trivago, but we have a very strong will of a lot of young people that are excited about what the product can do in terms of the change it can bring in the way you travel, and then spread the word. And that has been working very well. So in the last years, we had 3.2 million, a bit more than that, unique users using the platform. So with little budget, right?
No, definitely. I mean, and the Jet 2 holiday, it has become a meme on TikTok now. And I don't know if it's helping their business or not. It's definitely spreading awareness.
Of course it is. They just have a horrible website. So they have probably hundreds of thousands of people coming from the meme to the website, and then the website sucks. But this whole what virality is about is when you get 1 million views on, and that's like a small viral video on TikTok, then you get an avalanche of people on the website. And then it's up to the tech, to the product to convert those people.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not here to consult or anything. It came to my mind. Trip.com, you could easily start a trend with people like tripping onto a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this will be the big meme of 2026. Yeah. People tripping and falling into, you have already seen it on TikTok, but tripping into a vacation. Yeah. I'm just pushing it out there. That maybe this is you heard it here first. This is the 2026 meme. Go buy some stocks in this. Make a meme coin for this, trip.com, and you'll get rich next year. No, okay. But I want to also touch base on which I thought I read about. One of the core principles for you as well is the sustainability part of traveling as well. And how do you, because we all know, and we do anyway, and we don't care, that plane travel is expensive in terms of environmental accounting. But we don't care. We just travel anyway. But how do you take the sustainability act into trip.com?
Yep. So I must be frank that we are filling a couple of planes every week, or a lot of planes actually every week. So I cannot also play the angel here in terms of sustainability. Of course, we always have a will to bring features that push more bus and train. So that's something that was very important for us from the beginning and still is to be able to have, and you have the mode, which is I think called bus and train, which is just that content. Now, the question is, there is a lot of talk. Everyone talks about it, but what sells is another thing, right? So even I think the more hardcore ecologists, at the end, they will be buying plane trips. And I think the goal for us in the industry, and especially in government positions, is to understand why is that. And I think it's very simple, is that if I'm going to grab a train to, let's say, Odense or Aarhus, that train ticket, it's going to be more expensive than my Ryanair flight to Spain. That's it, right? And that shouldn't be like this, because trains should be much more efficient than planes. So it shouldn't be like this. So I think there needs to be a combination of industry effort. And in that, I'm very proud that we are pioneers in the sense that we have the train, the buses, and we have the connectivity of combining the technology to combine these different modes of transportation into a single trip. So that's very important for us. But we cannot do omelette without eggs, in the sense that if I have a train ticket that is 2 or 3 times more expensive than a plane ticket, and if we go to the train companies, and I remember talking with someone at the SB and asking, hey, can we get your data for trains? It's like, our trains are already full. But we don't care much about doing an integration at this stage. Nothing is going to change then. Like, it has been years and years that I've been trying to pursue, for example, Trains of Portugal, for them to open up data to give us access to their fares, and they don't give it. So you need to get it other ways, but it's a battle. And I think every time that it goes with state-run companies, it gets really tough, really tough.
Especially countries where the state-run companies have a monopoly on the travel, like DSB here in Denmark.
Yeah.
They don't care if you put more people into the train, because what other train are they going to get?
Exactly.
There's no other train going.
And if my trains are full, then that's more headaches for me, because then I have more complaints, and people will say that there is no space and no seats, because if you go to Odense, you need to sit on the floor on the train. So it's, I think sometimes we lack, either as entrepreneurs or especially as employees of big companies, that drive of saying, no, let's do this because that's the right thing to do. And you see, like in the UK, trains are so crazy, like the prices as well. Like, it's everywhere, and that needs to change, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I actually do believe we could speak many sessions about this, because you really managed to pique my interest here. It's an exciting space with a lot of opportunities, and this is just my opinion on the pod, definitely the right space at the right time. But before I leave you, I would like to speak a bit about the plans for maybe this final quarter we're going into, or the coming year, or what struggles you are fighting against now.
Yep. So we have seen fraud. So we launched in 2022, actually as a company, and started with marketing. And since then, we have been growing double digits month over month in sales. So that has been quite nice. What we are seeing, especially this month, is crazy growth. So we are talking very high double digits during this month growth. So it seems now that we are at an inflection point at Trip.com. So there is big sense of responsibility in the team, in the sense that like now we have a lot of people traveling with us, and we have in our hands the possibility of creating something really big, the next Momondo, the next Trivago, and something that in a scalable like nothing out there. So it's very exciting. We don't know what is going to happen, because startup world is a roller coaster, and you have your ups and downs. And in a startup, it's like you are battling against everything. But we see things very optimistically for us, and we are very eager to create next big thing in travel.
Awesome. And just for the clarification, Trip.com is with a Y.
Exactly, not with I. That's the Chinese ones. So.
I will put the link in the description as well, of course. But it was fantastic having you. So much for coming by and doing a short introduction to Trip.com and your journey getting there. Your journey, speaking of getting there. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming by, and have a fantastic TechBBQ 2025.
Thank you so much. Pleasure talking with you.
You too. Cheers.